Myfm, Jon Comouche here. I got Hozier in the studio with me. I am so excited to meet you. Thank you so much for sitting down.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's crazy to me. I see you sitting next to me literally here, and even sitting next to me, you're taller than me. I know you probably get this all the time, but man, you're tall.
Yeah. You know, I've looked into cures for it.
And nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, even standing up, we're like eye level here. This is crazy to me. So how tall are you?
I'm about 6'6", I think.
That
yeah.
pisses me off. That is crazy.
If it's any consolation, it's not like I didn't work at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
happened.
it's crazy to me that we're the same species sometimes. I'm not even in my mind that short of a guy. I'm like 5'9".
Right. That's not short.
I mean, to you maybe though.
No,
it's wild.
Yeah, I think it just. Yeah, I think by comparison, I'm just just crazily sized. So it's like, you know, yeah. But no, 5'9's good. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's like validation from you. I feel like you're only I think you're only 3 years older than me, and you're just like a man. You know what I mean? I can't do the facial hair thing. I even tried the long hair during the pandemic.
I think you could rock it good. You could totally go.
Thank you.
It's like you shaved this morning. You're nearly.
I did shave this morning.
You're halfway there to a beard already.
Get this weird shadow, I guess, but it doesn't come in full.
Okay.
So I'm trying though.
All right.
Does the long hair ever get too much? Do you plan on keeping that forever?
No, I threaten to shave it off all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I do. It's just the upkeep of the thing. You have to
bet.
water it and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And you have to, put fertilizer in it and stuff like that.
I feel like it works well when you're tall.
Yeah, maybe so.
You and Adam Driver have this thing going on, and I just feel like I aspire to be that someday.
I'm very tall, so exactly. So my head looks very small on such a large body, so the hair sort of bounces.
Okay, I feel that. So let's talk about the music a little bit. So the EP's out. You got the album on the way coming this fall.
Yes, yeah.
I just saw the music video for Francesca.
Oh, good.
It is gorgeous.
Thank you so much. That is directed by a fantastic director called Anthony Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
We're not related. We share the same second name. But he's the director of Peaky Blinders. So.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he's incredibly.
So how did this image come about? Is it a warehouse that you're in?
It's kind of it's an old docks warehouse in London. Somewhere kind of towards the Docklands, I think. And he picked the location. He found it out, and it's an amazing space. And I just sort of trusted Anthony to sort of create this kind of rock music video that he kind of wanted to make, and he's got such an incredible eye.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Eat Your Young is one of the songs, currently one of your newer songs that has stood out to me the most. I feel like a friend of mine just bought a house, which I feel like for me and people my age feels impossible.
It's pretty. Yeah, congrats to them if they can do it. But
right.
Yeah, upward mobility is not something that our generation
100%.
generally hasn't been afforded. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about where the idea for that song came from? Because I just feel like you'll do a better job of that than me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I had the idea for the song, and in the kind of core of the lyric is if you're putting food on the table by through means that are destructive or will lead to either the long-term or short-term destruction of your young, of your kids. If you're putting food on the table selling bombs and guns, it's quicker and easier to just eat your young, because they're going to be destroyed anyway, long-term or short-term. You're selling them out of a future. So just skip the middleman. Let that food be your kids and just get the whole thing over with. You know what I mean?
Is it intentional that you maybe drew some inspiration from a Modest Proposal or?
Yeah, that's the Modest Proposal. I mean, that's such a landmark in the Irish kind of.
Because isn't that kind of where you're from?
Canon.
That area?
Yeah, from Ireland. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. And Jonathan Swift wrote this kind of satirical article about dealing with the Irish question of and it's let's just eat them. You know what I mean? Mm. And it's kind of I think it does. I think it's sort of more subconsciously probably found its way, but there's a little bit of a nod in there to it. Yeah.
My little sister, she's a college professor out at the University of South Carolina, and she teaches this class on English literature and composition, and she ties music into a bunch of it. And she has been talking about your music this entire semester, especially this one particular song.
Wow. Okay.
Is this something you spend a lot of your time thinking about? Are you thinking about things that bother you, or does it just come to you at a random point in life?
Yeah, I feel like the idea for this song came to me just completely out of the blue. I was in a hotel room in LA with COVID, and I was meant to be working on another project. But I mean, like, I'm just naturally bothered by loads of stuff. So, and I think that just filters its way into the work naturally. You know?
Yeah, I was wondering, I mean, even when it comes to songs about love, like Work Song is personally my favorite song of yours. And just the way you describe things is incredible to listen to. And I wonder, like, do you think in lyrics like that, like, does it take you a minute to craft what you want to say, or is your mind kind of working that way naturally?
I wish I was always so eloquent, you know, he says as he trips up trying to say it. But no, I think it's kind of like, I don't know where it comes from. I have an appreciation for the written word, I guess, you know, even as I never, you know, I dropped out of college. I was studying music at the time, but I think it's more just finding ways that feel, especially when you're in love, like in the case of a love song, like Work Song, you're trying to put into words something that is like such a big deal, because like love can be a big deal. Yeah. Like, you know, it's kind of a life changer sometimes.
It might be the most intense thing you ever feel for some people.
100%. And I think it's just trying to find honest ways that really convey that without using too much of just, like, love is such a nothing word as well too. You can't just say, you know what I mean? You're just trying to sum up what something like that means. So that takes time to sit on that and just explore it.
You say it takes time. On average, how long does it take you to write a song?
Some songs could take a couple of weeks. I've never really started and finished a song in a day. I mean, maybe I have, but like, I don't think I ever released them, you know. But like a lot of the songs, some songs have taken me over a year to finish, and that's just, maybe I have the idea, but I don't know how to finish it.
So how do you know when it is finished? Like, how do you know it's done and you're not still looking to tweak it?
I think there's some small voice inside that's like, the more you change this now, the worse it's gonna get. So it's like knowing that it's the best version of itself that it can be at this moment. And there's still songs I look back and kick myself and go, God, I missed that.
Really,
line.
even still?
Yeah, for sure.
I read somewhere that, and this could be true or false, that you wrote around 30 songs for this upcoming album. How do you know which ones are the ones that should make it on the album?
That is tricky too. I think you know, there's some, everybody has their favorites, and between sort of like producers and labels, there's usually people have favorites, but for me, I just wanted to make sure that I tried to structure the album with something of a journey, and I needed to make sure that the album followed that journey, and so that helped to narrow down songs.
I start to get curious because I know with a lot of these songs, sometimes they end up being in some ways political, even if that's not the main intent. And then I think back to Take Me to Church, which is 10 years ago now, which is crazy. And such a powerful song and a powerful statement, but in some ways at that time, you didn't have, at that time, your following yet. So you didn't have too much to lose making a statement like that in music. Does that make you extra cautious these days when you're thinking about what you want to write about?
Yeah, I try to check out and try to step away from expectations of, okay, well, I might upset people, or I might, you know, or there might be people wanting me to write about something. If I go down that route, I'm like, immediately it's game over.
Really?
You know? Yeah, I think so. I think it's like I'm already starting with this impossible uphill battle. Like to do anything based upon other people's expectations, you can do it, but I think you're making a decision to not really fulfill what it is that you just need to fulfill in that moment for yourself. And I think that's the hard thing of you have to trying to keep on that line is important sometimes. What
is like Hozier listening to on your off days when you're not doing much? And obviously I'm sure you listen to your music so much through getting it written.
Yeah.
What are you listening to on your free time?
Yeah, definitely not my own music.
I bet, yeah.
But no, I kind of have fairly like eclectic tastes, I have to say. So like it could be depending. I think last night I was listening to James Brown, and I think yesterday morning I listened to a bit of Thin Lizzy again. I hadn't listened to Thin Lizzy for a while, so
really?
Like that sort of 70s like hair metal a little bit, you know, like kind of and then maybe some jazz, or maybe some Portuguese folk music recently. Yeah, so it's like, yeah.
Do you try and take little bits and pieces from everything you listen to, and if you like it, incorporate it, or are you just kind of like, I'm staying in whatever lane I feel that I have?
Totally. I think as long as I hear something that I feel has merit, like it doesn't matter what it's trying to achieve or what avenue it's trying to achieve it in. It's like you can always recognize that something is like has beauty to it, or it has it's achieved something in its own right that's really worth appreciating. And yeah, so if you, I just like to sit in that for a moment, even though it's outside. It might be totally outside my field, and just be like, okay, that's a fantastic achievement. And I think it's good to have a broad respect for things that are outside your.
I just learned that you have a podcast.
Yes.
Is this something you keep up with?
I haven't gone back to do a second season. But
Okay.
maybe we might do it at some point. It was with Global Citizen. It's a wonderful organization that informs people on how they can like get involved in stuff that might matter to them, depending on whatever it is, anywhere in the world, and it will sort of direct you to really good initiatives, really good organizations.
A place to aim that effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I love that. Is that something you're thinking about doing a third season of?
We might do a second season of. I think we did the first season.
Yeah.
Spoke to some really, really wonderful experts of like, people who deal with trying to end modern day slavery conditions and I think the President of Ireland, I sat down for a chat with people who deal with a lot of stuff to do with, sexual violence, etc. But yeah, like just it's really important, really vital conversations with incredibly determined people, and maybe we might do it again.
You do seem so tuned in on a lot of these issues, and sometimes they're political or issues that you really care about. Is there something you do to try to keep your mind from going down the negative all the time? Because I feel like you seem like such a positive guy.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're surrounded by sometimes negative thoughts or just heavy topics.
Yeah.
What do you do to kind of keep your head above the water?
Yeah, I think I'm a cheery type of person, but I don't necessarily, I'm not optimistic.
Really?
I really am not. Like, I'm optimistic about people. I think people can be wonderful, but I don't think the world is like, I don't know. Like I'm trying to be less negative. I'll put it that way.
So then what drives you? Because if you say you're not optimistic about the world, like what is it that makes you keep going and try and wanting to change it?
I haven't a clue.
Really?
I don't have a clue. Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that. I don't mean to dodge the question.
No, yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's like it's kind of hard. I don't know. I think it's probably like I really like at the end of the day, it's like I think there's me as an artist.
Yeah.
And then there's the part of me that just really wants to be an artist and create the work that is the work. And then there's the part of me, I don't think of myself as like an activist or somebody who is like on some mission to make the world better.
Right.
I think I try to bring kindness and awareness and a certain consciousness to the work where it can, but that's only it's filtering just through who I am as a person. And so the art is just informed by my own interests, and my interests happen to be over some of these issues.
Right.
And but I think, like, I know actual activists who really, that would be a really, really important question to ask them, who their activism, like they sacrifice a great deal in order to be that person who pushes that boulder up that hill, only to watch it struggle downwards again, and then to push it again. People lose a huge amount being that activist, and I feel like what I take on is so paltry. It's so like my work is like frivolous in the face of some of those real issues. You know what I mean? And so it doesn't feel all that. Heavy.
Are you kind of like calling it how you see it, and almost like sharing things from your perspective,
Yeah.
and then it's kind of like do it that way you will?
Exactly. Yeah,
Interesting.
I can only be honest about how I see the world.
Yeah.
And I try to be, and but I feel like it's not. I carry no heavy burden with regards like trying to fix this place.
Do you feel like when you step off the stage and you're not writing music and you're not doing stuff as Hozier, do you feel like that Hozier is a stage presence and you're someone else when you're living your regular life, or do you think that Hozier lens is still your perspective through your day-to-day life?
No, it's just me. Like,
really?
If you and me to sit down with a few beers, I'd start absolutely like foaming at the mouth, complaining about this world.
Really?
Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not a fun person to talk to a lot of the time. No, I can be. But like, you get me going, and
I feel like Irish people usually are, though. Once you get a few beers in them, like, even if you're complaining, like, it's a good time somehow.
We'll
you know?
have a good time for sure. But
yeah.
Like, we call it at home. We call it setting the world to rights.
Okay.
Which is like, it's like, or setting the world right, which is like, you know, you're sitting down for a good time, but by the end of the conversation, you've aired a lot of problems of the world as you see it. That's a big experience in with my friends and people I hang around with. So you have a great time and you laugh a lot and you have a few drinks, but you absolutely are throwing, you know, you're throwing criticism at all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
When you are sitting around having a few drinks, what is the drink of choice for you? Are you a beer guy?
I enjoy beer. Yeah, I don't discriminate. You know,
even American beers.
I do. I think America has some excellent beers.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I feel
like I don't hear that often, especially from Irishmen.
Yeah. No, I'm not a big fan of like the major serious brands. I think it's all. My neighbour's a wonderful guy, brews beer. He tells me a joke. Am I allowed to make fun of like brand? I probably can't. Can I? But like, no, I won't.
We can cut it after if you want. Yeah.
I'll tell you after. The interview. Yeah. But no, I think so. I think there's wonderful brews. There's wonderful like small breweries and microbreweries. Some of the best like beer is absolutely brewed here.
I love that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk to you about social media a little bit, because the only thing I really see from you active on it is Twitter. Mm-hmm. And I feel like these days it can be challenging as an artist to keep up that side of the marketing. You know what I mean? Social media has become such a big part of how people discover artists and discover who artists are and what they're about. How much time do you spend worrying about social media and the presence on it?
I've kind of, especially in the last couple of years, I've realized that the more I spend on social media, the more time I spend on it, and the more of myself I invest of my personality or whatever it is. It's like, and also, like, to use that, it's not even it's like a facsimile of ourselves that we put out there. But the more I do and the more I engage with it, the less happy I am, and the less, it's just really bad for my like mental health, I guess. And it's a very, increasingly, I find that some of those sites, social media sites, Twitter, etc., are becoming battlegrounds for needless like culture war issues, and like, or generating outrage, or are just horrendous. Like, there's just a real increasing toxic culture of like, the discourse is really in the toilet.
It's a lot, and it's a bummer though that you say that, because sometimes I see the Q&As that you do, and you're hilarious. You're funny on there.
We have fun. We definitely have fun.
Do you spend time on TikTok?
I have an account and we upload a few stuff, but I do. I sometimes.
Because I don't know if you know this, but like, you are a heartthrob on TikTok.
That's cool.
It's like all over my feed.
That's so
do you see that side ever?
I do. What's funny is, like, on my feed, it's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Him too, dude.
It's like, yeah. It's like, and I'm okay with it. I think he's.
That's a pretty good class of people to be up there with.
There's a man I'd like to have set the world to rights with.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man.
Have a beer with him. But yeah, no, it's some of the support on TikTok is wild, and But I do. I'm on it. I check it. I see some of it, but it's like, it's funny, you know. I think if people would have a very different opinion of me if they... No, I won't say an opinion, but it's just like, I have a very, I wouldn't say dark sense of humor, but I have a very sort of chaotic sense of humor. And,
okay.
And I try to filter myself a little.
Really? Because I feel like some people love that. I mean, have you seen Lewis Capaldi on Twitter? Or on TikTok? He's
so great.
Chaos, but like, people love it. You know what I mean?
Good. I love Lewis, yeah.
So what can you tell us about the next single coming out from this album?
Oh yeah, so the next single, as Unknown.
Do we know yet?
Yeah, so we're actually...
Wait, is it Unknown or is it called Unknown?
It's called Unknown.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah. It's called Unknown, and it's out on the 23rd of June.
Oh, okay.
So a couple of weeks' time. So we're just putting it out there. It's actually one that I released on TikTok. I wouldn't even say I released it, but I put a demo of me playing it.
Is this the one where it's just guitar, you
just
on the guitar picking for the first?
Exactly.
Dude, I'm obsessed with this song.
Oh,
that's
cool.
The next one coming out?
Yes. Yeah.
We've been waiting for that one.
Yeah, I'm delighted.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. So that's out in a couple of weeks. So
awesome. Well, dude, I'm excited to hear it. Thank you so much for coming in. I know you're a busy guy, but it's been awesome to meet you. Hozier.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, guys.